invulling.
Ik zie je straks wel als een ukulele persoon.
Ik heb wel een ukulele in huis. Ja? Ik kan het niet. Nice!
Dat was
klinkt goed hoor.
Free Falling. Ik vind het
ja.
super spannend. Ik weet niet waarom ik het deed.
Nee, ik vind het vet mooi.
Misschien deed ik het juist uitspannen.
Het kwam weer van mij uit. Dat is echt mooi.
Ja, dus dat was, dit was mijn uitdaging. Serieus? Maar ik doe het in Nederlands. Oké, so. Take
Take
okay,
two.
here we go.
Yeah.
So, Gabrielle, in English, Gabrielle, no, just kidding. So the funny thing is, I ran into you. Well, I know you from school, from back in the days, and I knew you by face.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you as a person, and then we met through my blog, the postings and stuff, that you started replying on the thingies, and it was amazing. And later on was also through social media again, that we ran into each other, and now I'm seeing you all over the place. You're at many different spots, and I don't know, you kind of seem to enjoying life, and at the same time you have this opportunity to influence people. And you're doing that through conscious living and sustainability. That's amazing. Right? How's that for you, in the sense of, I don't know, being able to be in this position to really, I don't know, be of influence to others?
I really feel like that's been given to me. I don't take it for granted, and I'm really humble. Makes me humble. Also think it's weird that I have a certain impact, or that I have followers or people watching what I do. But I don't think about that too often.
But how did it happen?
The whole Instagram thing, you mean?
Yeah, like people really following you and...
Yeah, well, I worked in the magazine industry, which I still do as a freelance writer. But I worked for 7 years in the office. And at one magazine they asked for the editors to also make their own Instagram platform, to give the editors their own personality, really. So we were asked to start our own Instagram channel. So I would, in my lunch break, I would go with some colleagues outside and make some pictures of ourselves, or whenever we had some new fun stuff to do or new articles, we would post about it on Instagram. And that actually gave me quite a following. And then I quit the magazine industry, and I really liked doing that, the whole sharing part, and the whole Instagram community. And I also really thought it was a really kind community on Instagram, so there would be a lot of really nice people I've met.
You met through your Instagram?
Yeah, either digital or in real life. And I started doing my own thing on my Instagram. So I think I've always been really into living with respect for our planet and the inhabitants. And then I started digging more into that, and then sharing more about that as well. So this is how my Instagram started and how it developed, actually. Yeah.
And is it something you got... You said you grew up with it, but what's your story? So what made you grow up with these kind of thingies, where you're at certain places that maybe made you cherish nature even more? Or
Good question. When I was 13 or 14, I started eating vegetarian. Yeah, I started going vegetarian. Because I read something on the internet about, it was from PETA, the big PETA, the big animal welfare.
Oh, yeah. Do they have is it a, how do you call it? What's the name? I can't come up with the name now. A zeehond, right? In the logo. Do they?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Okay. No. They're like with a big campaign. So they had Got Milk. Yeah. And then with big celebrities that had, I don't know, like it was supposed to show the bad side of the milk industry and stuff like that. They have really big campaigns with big celebrities, and they had this article on their website saying 10 reasons why you shouldn't eat meat, and then I read things about how it contains it keeps poverty alive, basically, because all the cattle being fed instead of the mouths being fed, and the bad things that go behind the bio industry, and there were 10 reasons, and I read them all, and I was like, why on earth would I be eating meat? So I quit eating meat, and I think I'm just a sensitive person, and I'm sensitive for it doesn't make sense to me to do harm.
I like that. Sensitive sense.
It doesn't make sense to me to do harm and to live your life and causing harm and being okay with that. So I think that's just who I am. And then it started with realizing the horror that goes behind the meat industry, and then I started giving presentations in high school about the bullfighting and about the fur industry. So the fact that we slaughter animals for fashion, or we slaughter animals for fun, we torture them, things like that. I just couldn't comprehend that. So I wanted to share that a lot, actually, with my classmates and with people, and so this is something that I became passionate about in a way that I could talk about it.
And what I found very interesting speaking to you the other day, and by knowing you, and the other day when you posted something that it was also within this H&M that approached you. Was it a campaign that they wanted you to do, or just some thing? And it was very interesting to see how you responded to that. Right? Because I remember that you kindly rejected, but in a very friendly way. And I think that marks you, that you as a person, that you're not really shutting doors and putting up middle fingers, but really saying like, hey, no, thank you, because this and this and this. And then the interesting thing is what happened is they got back to you if you wanted to come, right, to the place. And then eventually it was super cool that you started asking these questions to all the people that you actually brought to them, right?
So they asked me to do a campaign for their conscious line, and so there's a lot of things to do about the new conscious lines from certain brands, or the conscious labels they give to clothing lines or brands, because it's usually not that conscious. And they call it greenwashing. There's a big it's I think greenwashing is a difficult thing, because there's big companies wanting to do something more sustainable, but if they do, then is it greenwashing? Do they do it for their marketing purposes?
So let me get this clear. So greenwashing is another way of saying whitewashing, but then for going green, kind of? So big companies say, oh, we're doing this big conscious line, and then, for example, say Zara, the big fashion company, says I think they actually do have a conscious collection, but then they still work in factories that maybe don't pay people the right amount of money, or they have really bad working circumstances, and so it's conscious, but how conscious is it really? The rest of the company is still still a fast fashion company. So I think that's what greenwashing really is. So covering up the fact that the rest of the company is still everything but sustainable, and then having one piece of marketing where they say this is conscious, but is it really? And it's just because there's a lot of talk about sustainability these days, so brands feel like they have to do something. And for instance, maybe for you and me, it's very easy to get onto this topic and to really understand what's kind of maybe what's going on, or if we make a choice, it's a very ethical one for us. It's not because we have kind of the end in mind, okay, because this is what we want to transmit. But what did you find out now, maybe working with companies, like how can you even distinguish this stuff, you know, like when do you do and when are you not doing stuff, you know, to a certain extent?
You know, you mean when to work with a brand or not?
How do you know if they're
genuine?
Exactly.
That's really difficult. It is difficult. I sometimes make mistakes in that. So I ask them a lot of questions. So for example, recently I worked with a jewelry brand. The jewelry maker uses gemstones and diamonds.
Yeah.
Diamonds is a really difficult industry because there's a lot of slavery in the diamond industry.
Yeah.
And then gemstones are also not always sustainably cotton.
Yeah.
So then I ask them, where do you get your gemstones? Where do you get your diamonds? How is it made? Who makes the items? And I ask them a lot of questions, and then they usually answer me. And then I ask them, is this information on your website or not? And then they usually tell me yes. Because once I actually made the mistake, I asked a company wanted to work with me, and I asked them about their sustainability values.
Yeah.
And they sent me a big list, and they even sent me that they won an award, and this was the CEO of the company. So I thought, cool, let's do it. And then some of my followers or people on Instagram, I don't like the word followers, people on my Instagram, they send me a message saying, where can I find this information? It's like, that's a good question.
Oh, wow.
And then it wasn't on the website. So I had the email. So the CEO sent it to me in writing, so I could send them that. And they said, I don't really think this is true. And I said, but why would the CEO say something that isn't true? And they say, people lie. And then I was like, no, people don't lie about this stuff, but people lie. So this is where I made the mistake of it's still not on their website, the sustainability reports.
And what happens then for you?
I ask them about it, and they don't answer me, and then I stop working with them, and then I become it's a learning process. So I become more and more aware of what should I ask and what should I not ask, or what should I what kind of information do I need to get from them. I want to have everything that you have on sustainability. I want it in PDF. I want it, give it to me and I'll read it. It's difficult sometimes. Sometimes I feel like it's a minefield that you have to work through to get to the right companies.
Interesting.
So with the H&M, they asked me to do that campaign, and I said no, and I explained them why, and then they asked me to come to their office, and I had the people on my Instagram ask them questions as well, and it kept flooding with questions. So many questions. So it's something that's really living amongst a lot of people. So that was really cool. And they were really nice to me. So it's good to have the conversation, and it's good to see, for them also to see that a lot of people are not taking bullshit.
That's so true actually now. That maybe like for sure there's a majority that still goes through, and isn't really aware of it, but it's beautiful to see that there's really a movement going on, right?
Definitely.
Okay. So your profile, the Instagram and stuff, to what extent would you say it's a resemblance of the real person that you are?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's a big resemblance of who I am. I just don't share everything. So sometimes people think, so they ask me questions and but I don't always share everything. So there's a part of me that's still private. Not everything people have to know. But I think it's a big resemblance of me. Just I also try to show the things that are not going well, but it's not, I don't want to focus on that. So sometimes I make the decision to not share it. So the other day I had the flu. I didn't share it. But when I'm going through a rough period, so for example, last year I was really sick, and then I did post things about that. I even made a video afterwards, telling people what I was going through and letting them know that nobody's life is perfect and Instagrammable and fantastic. And I also make bullshit videos on my Insta stories. It's a lot more real than on the Instagram page, because it's easier to make fun things that disappear anyway. So there's a lot more bullshit on there, which is real.
Yeah, it's very nice. I think I noticed for myself that I have more the tendency of sharing fun stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe not necessarily because I don't know what it is. If it's really like, okay, look at me, this is what I'm doing, kind of. But it's not necessarily that I wouldn't like to show the less bright side, let's say. But I just don't think about it then, like, oh, I should grab my phone now. And
nobody's like, oh, but it's working, let's make a video of that. Of course, nobody.
Yeah, look at the tears, come on.
Yeah, and there's also a fine line
do you think
between
it's,
what gets, what do I post to get attention, or what do I, there's a lot of people are like, why are you posting that? Do you want attention, or do you want...
And do you think it would benefit more people if they started posting also the real stuff?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've been hearing there's a lot of comparison and a lot of people getting anxiety because of Instagram, or they feel insecure about their own lives or their own bodies or there's so much editing also. I really, really think that you have a responsibility. If you have an Instagram profile with more than 100 followers, you have a responsibility to not edit your body, to not edit yourself, to not make a more perfect version of yourself, because you have an influence on others. And I think that's really important, something people really forget. There's a lot of insecure people. I mean, if I look at myself at 15, if there would be only perfect people on Instagram and there was Instagram when I was 15, I would have hated myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't that girl back then. And I think there's a lot of people that grow up with all the perfect images, and if we share more real stuff, there would be a lot more openness and vulnerability, and I think that makes the world a better place.
Yeah. So is it something you keep in mind also when? Yeah,
I would never edit my body or never make it look better than it is. Yeah. No, I think it's really. I sometimes really. Really wish that more people would see the influence they have. And even, like I said, even if you have 100 followers or friends or whatever, just people are looking at you. So you have a responsibility to I think, to be real.
And maybe now, just that I'm thinking of, do you feel like you have a bigger influence on social media or in real life?
Ooh.
Right? Because now that I'm thinking of it, I think like, okay, maybe to a certain extent, but there's always a screen in between, kind of, right?
Yeah. I don't know, actually.
That's something I just thought of now.
But I think everybody's an influencer in that way.
Yeah,
you always influence your friends or your family, or everybody does.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I
wouldn't
know,
Just one I thought of now that, exactly. So what makes you an influencer? And because basically we're like, indeed, everyone, even the weather is an influencer.
Exactly.
A big one.
They influence your outfit, your day.
Right?
Yeah.
Mood and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay. And then I thought, okay, so when you dove into these topics, conscious living and those kind of things, what were the first things that you were really surprised about? And what were the things that you would say, like, many people still don't know this, that we could maybe you could share, or that you came across? Or...
I think it's a difficult one to think about what people don't know yet, because I very often think everyone knows this, and then turns out they don't.
What was it for you?
I think that a lot of people know about the meat industry, the dairy industry, but I think there's not a lot of people that know about the clothing industry.
Yeah, that's so true, actually.
So people think, it's just a t-shirt. They don't realize that someone had to make it in a factory, or it starts with fabric, it starts with design, then fabric, then someone making that, then shipping it, and there's such a big process behind a piece of clothing. And
could you give a tip of the iceberg, like what's normally the things that are going on?
What do you mean on what?
With the whole the process, the chain,
the whole chain.
Yeah, maybe a few things that.
So, for example, there's when you're wearing something with color, it needs to be dyed.
Yeah.
But also just the cotton. I don't even know if this is cotton. I don't think this is cotton. But if you need to make cotton, it starts with a farmer that grows the cotton, and then maybe uses pesticides or not. The farmer gets polluted. The soil gets polluted.
Yeah.
If he uses pesticides, it takes a lot of water to use cotton to grow cotton, for example. And that's just, then you don't even have the fabric yet. Then you just have the plant that makes the cotton. And then obviously there's a big part of the social part of where people have to make your items, have to dye your items. The dye can be very polluting for the people that use it or for the environment.
Yeah, I think I saw hands sometimes
with the denim
burned and stuff.
Yeah,
Crazy.
or completely blue hands because of the denim dyes.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of it starts with plants and with growing with farmers, and then it goes to factories where people make stuff and where they work with different stuff. But there's also the big part of shipping. Where does it come from? Where does it go? There's a real big chain behind one piece of clothing.
So how is it for you that normally, for instance, certain brands that sell new items for a very low price, does it ring a bell for you normally, or would it be like alarm, like abort mission?
I think if there's a t-shirt for €3, then you can definitely maybe
there's
not.
a big chance.
Yeah, there's a big chance that it's not ethically made or sustainably made or whatever. Yeah, because it costs money to pay people fair, to ship fair, or to work with the right dyes, or to investigate all that. And it's a really difficult process also. I don't think there's one brand that's 100% sustainable. I think they say it's better to walk around naked. That's the most sustainable.
Yeah, right.
Might be cold in Holland at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's even now with we as vegans, right? I mean, it's still to a certain extent you can do as much as you can, and I think as long as everyone has that end goal in mind, the intention of really doing as the best you can, then it's okay. Whatever feels comfortable within it, right?
Yeah, I don't like it when people start being police, the vegan police or the sustainability police. Fuck that. Everybody's doing their best.
Yeah.
Can I say fuck on camera?
Yeah, for sure. But then I think just at least be informed, right?
Yeah.
Like people know where your food comes from, everything you do, and then so that's nice. That's good to know, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What did you do in order to find out what gives you joy in life and the things you do now? Like what have you done? So.
Ooh. What have I done?
Yeah, or maybe, because I think we all go through these phases that we think like, okay, so maybe people want to change jobs or do different things, and they feel like, okay, at least they know they're not in the place they should be.
Yeah.
What have you done? What was it for you?
I think I was lucky because writing makes me really happy, and I didn't really know that yet. For example, when I was in high school, whenever we would finish a test, I would grab my booklet and I would start writing my own stories. That would be my waiting for the rest of the group to be done. Writing. That was what I was doing. And when I was a kid, I was writing books. And then I had to choose my next step after high school, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had a conversation on my school, and then I had some opportunities, and then my mom said, well, you love writing, don't you? Why don't you, I think this might be a good school for you. So my mom really had a good eye for that, I think, because it turned out to be the best decision to make. And that was when it comes to career, I think, and also trying and not giving up too easily. I think we're a generation of giving up very easily. If you don't like your job, within a month, people quit.
Yeah, we want instant satisfaction.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. And your job might suck for the first year or might not be it for the first year. And then you start really getting into what do I like and what don't I like. You have to experience it fully for you to understand what it is that you do like or you don't like, and then you grow in that. So I think don't give up so easily and listen to your environment. And what do you do when you have some time to kill? What are the things that you do? And what do you like? And I also really try to look at what are the...
Then we would all be professional Netflix that came into my mind. Right? I was like, okay. So
what we're doing to kill time. Netflix.
Well, I rarely watch it, but I just feel like,
okay, other one then.
No, but I think you actually...
Take 3.
Okay, so it just got interrupted, but we're just continuing.
Yeah.
So, you just mentioned about before, we just said about the Netflix and stuff.
Yeah.
So then I think like environment is definitely key to it. And I think you were very lucky to have these people around you. And I think we all have, actually.
Of course, yeah.
Your mother saying to you that that basically in your spare time, you were already doing the stuff you would really be enjoying.
Yeah.
So that's very nice to see that you went into writing and those kind of things. And
yeah, definitely. And also I think it's really important to look at the moments where you feel most alive.
Yeah.
And where you feel most you, maybe.
Yeah.
When you look in the mirror and I'm like, that's me. Or in the moments you feel most empowered or most energized. What are the things that are happening at that moment, and why is that happening?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, as you just said, it's really pinpointing again, like what was happening or what is happening, and why does it make me feel like this kind of. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I noticed it myself before this year.
Yeah.
So I just noticed that I was really losing the magic a bit. That I really felt like, okay, so because the first year with the journey to Nepal, it all went well and was beautiful stuff, and then suddenly this year things started to change. I opened up. So the beginning of the year was actually very nice, and then I thought like, okay, let's leave in October, and I started quite like promoting the stuff and whatever, and then somehow it didn't get through. So I really thought like, okay, so what's going on? And I noticed obviously that physically some things weren't really working out for me, and then but I believe there's something energetically happening as well that why it's not working out. And then I thought like, okay, where's the magic, right? Where's the intention? I think that's one of the things. Because then that's what makes you feel alive. If you know the intention, the feeling you're after, and you just go and you find ways in order to find that feeling, then you'll get there. And then I noticed that indeed, like, where's the magic? And the only thing I had to do is really go back in time. Yeah. Or maybe in the present moment.
Yeah.
What happened? Or what is happening? And why? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, same for me.
Yeah.
Okay. How would the ideal Gabrielle, how would she be? And how would her environment, just make it as big or as small as you want, it's up to you, would look like?
Well, in an ideal utopia kind of world, I would be living in a bamboo hut on a beach.
I knew it.
With some surfboards and a kitchen to make. And I would have my own garden where I would make my own food.
Why?
That would be amazing, no? The best thing ever. Because then you know it's organic, and then you know it's good and it's local, and you can have your own. You're not. How do you say? You don't have to go to the supermarket. You got your own food right there.
Self-sufficient.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would be self-sufficient. Yeah. Not really sure about the whole self-sufficient bathroom part.
Yeah.
But maybe in a couple of years.
I was about to say something. Well, you could use it as gas for the stove.
Have to ease into that.
It doesn't come all with glitter.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, but that would be ideal, I think, and having my surfboards and my laptop so that I can write and wake up every day and be in the ocean or be on the beach and be in nature every day. But I think that's not really realistic in the capitalistic world we live in. I'm a dreamer, but I'm also a realist, so I do realize that we are a very capitalistic world, and that's really awesome to do for a month, but then it's not really attainable, maybe, or maybe it would, but I'm not sure if it would be the thing to do.
Well, I would say it's funny to see that there's certain people always who tend to look for nature to a certain extent. I think partly these are the people that should also be living in the city, kind of.
Yeah.
Because I think they really make a difference now that I think of it, kind of.
Yeah.
Because they cherish nature already, so they have this connection with the earth and those kind of thingies, and that's why they need to put roots here, right? Like literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
I also love the city as well. There's such a there's a good vibe in the city, and I really like, I do like my modern day lifestyle where I go to the yoga school around the corner, and I get my groceries around the corner, and then I meet up with my friends, or I go to a party and dance my ass off. I like that as well. It's not, I don't resent the modern world. I really like it as well, and I thrive in it really well. But the moments I feel most alive are the moments I'm on the beach and I'm in a tropical place where I'm only concerned with what's for dinner and are there waves or not.
Yeah. But luckily, I think is that you're doing all this beautiful stuff and having all this influences, as we all do. It's good to see that despite you could be living a life that is just focused on you, right? Like how are the ways and those kind of things. And oh my God, that you're still deciding also to serve other people.
Yeah.
And
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I think that maybe if I would live off the grid somewhere, then I would think giving and living for other people is a really big part of us as a human being. We're not solo. We're not made to be solitaire. We're made to be together.
Yeah, we're social beings, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That was actually the only way how we managed to survive back in the days.
There you go. Yeah.
Getting together, doing stuff together.
Yeah. I think that's also something that gives people a lot of energy in life, to be there for each other. And
Are you doing that?
I hope so. Yeah. Yeah, I do love to give and to.
Cool. You ready for this one?
I'm not sure.
If you could have one superpower, anyone you could choose, what would it be?
Maybe teleportation. Did you expect that?
What? No, it's well, I can relate to it now when you say teleportation, and I would say, okay, but before I say something, like, why?
Maybe to teleport me to places on the other side of the world without flying.
Right? I knew this would.
Like you step into something and then bam, you're on a tropical island. And maybe also to go back in time and experience other ways of living, or maybe something like that. That would be cool. Yeah, maybe if you have a loved one that you lost, then go back in time to spend some more time with them. Teleportation, but that's right now. If I have to think about it, maybe something else. I don't know. What would yours be?
I have no clue. You're kind of overwhelming me now with the question.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, right. You can't give it back to me now. I just think, okay, I'll just throw it. That's a good. Oh wow. Yeah, it was an easy one, right? But now you're complicating stuff. What would it be? The funny thing is, like, now when you see all these action movies and all the heroes and stuff, and there's a lot of superpowers going on.
Yeah, I like them, the Marvel movies.
Yeah, they're super nice. I do question now when I think of it, to what extent does it really serve the planet, right?
If it would be real.
Yeah, right? Because the one can grow big and green and be angry, right? So I think, like, yeah. So I think, I don't know if, I know one. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could just have this superpower that I could just spread compassion to everyone.
Oh, that's perfect.
Right? We're done. Yeah, now that I'm thinking of it, that could be a good one.
I chose a selfish one.
But this time, you said now, right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm changing my mind.
Same. Full of transportation and compassion. Yeah,
nice.
I think that could really work out well for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. And another one. Let's see if there's one. A quote. Maybe a favorite quote that always sticks with you and the reason why. It's the one that maybe pops up now that you have.
This is difficult. I have a few quotes that I have a lot of quotes that I really like. There's this one by Nietzsche. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. I really like that because it's all about point of view. So we all look at the world through our own eyes. And we judge each other based on our own vision, our own perspective. So we all have our own perspective. And I think that's basically what he's saying. That those who were dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. We all do our own thing. We all have our own perspective, like I said, and we don't necessarily understand the perspective of someone else.
Yeah.
And then people can think you're insane or So I really like that one. I think that if we could all put ourselves into other people's shoes, the world would be a bit more beautiful place, and not always, if we really tend to think from our own point of view, and that makes things sometimes difficult. Yeah. So for example, there's people that eat meat and they think vegans are crazy, and then there's vegans that think people who are eating meat are crazy, and we keep thinking that everybody's crazy. Well, we're all doing our own thing from our own perspective.
That's the thing. So I think, especially if we would be doing the things from our perspective or from our way, then no one would be insane. I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think indeed, when I hear you talking now, then I agree, because I think if everyone would just listen to his own music, no one would be insane.
Yeah.
We have a new one, right? We can add it to
Bye, Nietzsche. We got Oscar. There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So what's your favorite quote?
This one I have it ready always. It's there. Yeah. It's the universe favors the brave. Because for me, and the other day I was watching one of the speeches that Brené Brown gave. It's called, I think, The Call to Courage.
Okay, yeah.
So for the Netflix people, it's there.
For the professional Netflix, it's out there.
And so it's called The Call to Courage. And of course I knew about her and stuff. And even through my journeys, the three components is adventures, courage, and connection.
Yeah.
So, because I believe, like now, exactly the phase I'm now, right? That I just told you, like, okay, I'm making this bold move.
Yeah.
And to some extent, I think you can only be brave when you get in a situation that the only option is to be brave. Because if you're in your comfort zone, how can you be brave in your comfort zone? You can't. Only when you get into these situations that kind of frighten you, those are the moments where you can be brave. And I think as soon as we make these steps, I think life is really with you. I think life is with you in full on. So even I think the only thing we can do now, as you said before, is just take a leap of faith and really, really trust in life that at least it will work out the way it should be worked.
Oh, I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, things will always work out the way they should.
Yeah.
I
do you think
in life? Yes.
And could that still be a negative interpretation for the person?
I think that it should be positive. Yeah, things will always work out the way they should be.
Yeah.
Life has got your back.
Yeah.
Life won't fail you.
Yeah.
It's, shitty things are part of life, but it's not failing you. Life is never failing you. It's just part of the journey. Don't you think?
I totally agree. I like the last part. Yeah, for sure. That indeed there can be parts that even there can be still drawbacks.
Absolutely.
But maybe you still need to have this firm belief in the blind trust.
Yeah.
To know like, okay, maybe this didn't work out because there's really something that will happen in the future, or that at least
something better is coming. Yeah. Or you had to take a lesson out of it, or you had to experience it to make you humble again.
Yeah.
That's what you said in your thing, in the thing that I bought from you.
Yeah.
The text, something about what it makes me humble.
Yeah. I get dirty hands in order to wash myself with humility again. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I just thought because we're always, I don't know, being this person that, I don't know, kind of needs to shine. And I think when we get to too much ego, too much cleanness and cleanliness, those kind of things, that I think, no, you have to jump in the mud again, and those kind of things. So it really helps me also to ground kind of again. Yeah. Like, hey, here, stay here, don't let it get to your head.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Last question. How would you like your environment or the world to be different thanks to you? Or your environment. There must be something you stand for, right? Something you hope to transmit or to leave behind. It doesn't necessarily have something tangible. It can be a feeling, some person. If they would say, for instance, if the people would say okay, if I would think of Gabrielle, she always reminds me of.
What are you doing to me? Oh, I don't know. Maybe look at the world with kind eyes and open eyes, open-mindedness, not a lot of judgment. That maybe.
I think it's a very beautiful one, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the first thing we all do is judging.
Yeah.
So I think as soon as you give yourself maybe a second thought, or maybe some time in order to reevaluate the judgment we have.
Yeah.
Because that's what we always do. Anytime any sensation that comes in. So imagine I think it would be amazing if I would just think about it and I say okay, if you run into a person or a situation or whatever, or someone gets in line in front of you in the queue or passes you by, you could at least say you could be like this, and still say you know what? No judgment, because who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows? What happens or what's behind that person. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's a very good one, I think, right? Good job. And so anything you feel so let's say, they can follow you on
Instagram.
Instagram, you're doing it's literally your name, right?
Yeah, so it's Gabrielle underscore Koster, Koster. Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share? Things happening? That's it for now.
No, that's it for now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
What and why?
The what and why.
The what and why. I like it. from the new Oprah Winfrey. Nice.